In the history of the Republic, there has never been anyone better than him at standing for the principle that the Constitution is not a living and breathing document. It is supposed to be applied as originally meant.
We are one liberal justice away from a 5-justice radical leftist majority that would undermine our religious liberty, that would undermine the right to life, and that would fundamentally erase the Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms from the Constitution.
So Senators Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio, that in a discussion of the Supreme Court vacancy. They had a common enemy last night. But did Rubio do enough to boost his standing? And for Cruz, is Texas a must-win to stay viable? Ron Nearings, former chairman of the Republican Party in California chair for Ted Cruz. Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson's a Rubio supporter. And gentlemen, good day to both of you. We'll do this one at a time, and you guys can make your best case. Mr. Nearing, I'll start with you now. If you look at the rules, right, getting delegates is a challenge unless you start winning and winning big. Where will Ted Cruz win?
Ted Cruz is going to win the state of Texas, his home state here. We had a tremendous debate performance last night. Home court advantage here in Texas. 155 delegates going forward. It's the big prize on Super Tuesday, and Ted Cruz is going to win here. There's no doubt about that.
All right, so, but even if he gets a 1-point win, I mean, you know what the delegates do. That's in many ways you could see that as a wash. Now you mentioned he'll win elsewhere. Where?
Well, first, a win in Texas is not a wash. Texas is certainly proportional, but at the end of the day, Ted Cruz is going to come out of the state of Texas with the lion's share of delegates. As one of your commentators mentioned earlier, this is a race for delegates in order to get the majority needed to win the nomination. So we're going to do great in Texas. We're going to do great in other Super Tuesday states. I'm not going to, get into lifting the curtain in terms of, where we're going to do that, but certainly Senator Cruz is very competitive throughout the SEC primary states. He's vigorously campaigning today and will do so all the way through Tuesday. So we're in a strong position in the state of Texas. Marco Rubio is in big trouble in the state of Florida. He's got, a big fire he's got to put out in the state, badly trailing Donald Trump in Florida. So it'll be interesting to see how he addresses that.
In 20 seconds or less, what do you think last night did for Ted Cruz?
I think that Ted Cruz expressed solutions to the challenges that the country is facing today, and he did so with clarity. And that's something that stands in stark contrast to Donald Trump, who stumbled around, doesn't really understand policy, is not prepared for the position, and doesn't have the temperament to be president. Ted Cruz demonstrates that he has a temperament to be president. He has a command of the facts. He has solid principles, and he's demonstrated that as a member of the Senate, confronting both parties in Washington.
A lot of polls show him the lead in Texas. We'll see if that's the case on Tuesday. Ron Nearing, thank you. Governor Hutchinson, I want to bring you in right now. I have not seen a single poll on Super Tuesday that shows Marco Rubio winning.
Well, we hope that Arkansas will be the first state that he wins.
Do you see him winning anywhere on Tuesday, Governor?
I do. I think last night's debate showed that he not only is a command on policy, but he's also willing to go toe-to-toe with Donald Trump. People wanted to see leadership. They wanted to see strength. They wanted to see a future president. They saw that last night in Marco Rubio. And so what you're going to see between now and next Tuesday and beyond is that people are going to have some buyer's remorse on Donald Trump. They're going to take a second look at that and say, can he really perform all that he's promised? Is he really the fighter for the middle class? And I think they'll look at last night's performance and say, Marco Rubio is not only good and optimistic about America and Reagan-esque in some ways, but he's also tough and he's resilient. And when you look at states that need to win, absolutely he needs to win.
Okay,
and Arkansas should be the star.
Okay, we'll see about that. There was a big meeting in Manhattan on Wednesday night, and apparently a lot of big donors for Jeb Bush got together, and they were asked to write another check, and that might be a difficult thing. If he goes 0 for 11 on Tuesday, can he make the case to stay in until March 15th in his own home state, where the polls show that he's trailing Donald Trump in Florida?
Well, a lot depends upon where you are. If you are the challenger to Donald Trump and you win one or more states, you make the case that as a party and as a country, Marco Rubio is the conservative that can win in November. That's the test, and he's proven that, in his last performance in South Carolina. You do well on Super Tuesday. and then it should consolidate. He is the right alternative to Donald Trump, the conservative that can win in November.
As you know, eventually you got to start chalking up some victories. Asa Hutchinson, thank you for your time today, and Ron Nearing before that in Houston, Texas. Thank you, sir.